You're watching CBS7 News at 9 on the CW and live on the CBS7 YouTube channel with Alexandra Macia and Tom Tieferteller.
Not really any luau's here in Texas, so I want to bring our culture and show off, what we have, our music, our dancing, our food.
A popular Odessa breakfast spot is serving dinner for one night only. The event will support families in Hawaii who are still struggling after the Maui wildfires. We'll tell you all about the dinner you'll want to add to your weekend plans coming up in just a few minutes. Good evening and thanks for joining us here for CBS7 News at 9 on the CW. And thanks to those of you joining us live on our CBS7 YouTube page. I'm Jay Hendricks in for Alexandra Macia. Overnight, you may have seen some large flames along West Murphy and Maurice in Odessa. In fact, the city of Odessa confirming that this was an arson fire. And earlier today, the Odessa Police Department arrested the alleged arsonist. Take a look at the fire. This is what it looked like for most of you. The large trash fire was started at around 12:30 this morning. According to the City of Odessa Facebook page, crews were working to put the fire out throughout the morning. Officials say the alleged arsonist was recently fired by the company. Odessa police made a traffic stop on a car that matched the suspect's car and then arrested the driver on unrelated charges. Odessa Fire Rescue continues to investigate that arson. Meanwhile, the Midland Fire Department hazmat team was out cleaning up a chemical spill on Interstate 20 this afternoon. In fact, the North Service Road of I-20 between La Mesa Road and North Fairgrounds had to be closed. One person is being treated for minor injuries. Now, this is a look at the cleanup. According to the city, 2 semi-trucks were driving along I-20 when one of the trucks tried to change lanes, forcing the other truck off the highway. 3 chemical totes ruptured and the spill is still being investigated. Next week, Midland Animal Services offices will close for staff training. On Tuesday and Wednesday, employees will learn canine behavior, OC pepper spray, bite stick, chemical capture certification course, and advanced animal control officer training. City of Midland calls this training indispensable, saying they are working to effectively manage challenging situations. Of course, the offices will still be open for emergency situations. For a list of what the city classifies as an emergency, you can visit our website at CBS7.com. After 48 years at the corner of University and Andrews Highway, the Endless Horizons Record Shop is closing the doors. In fact, since announcing the store will close, people have been going to the shop to see it one more time and share cherished memories with the owner. The owner has even been selling memorabilia that has been collecting along the walls for almost 5 decades. There is no timeline for when Endless Horizons may come back, but the Facebook page will be posting updates on the shop and any plans that are being made.
Some of our remaining stock will probably pop up on there, trying to figure out a digital platform that we can start using to maybe at least keep some part of the store alive, whether it's through just store merchandise or whatever else we can until we figure out whatever the next step is.
Logan says he is grateful for the shop that has been open for so long, saying that when his father started it in 1975, he also would not have imagined still being open today. Endless Horizons will be open for one more day tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and everything in the store is 50% off. A story you might have seen on social media less than 2 months after winning the title of Mrs. America 2023, Regina Stocks says she has been diagnosed with kidney cancer. In fact, Stocks shared the news in a Facebook video on Wednesday saying doctors found a mass in her left kidney a month ago. Her doctor confirmed on Monday it is cancer.
The good news is he is confident that we could just go in with surgery and take it all out and be done with it. Since the mass is so big, I am not a candidate for robotic surgery, so it will be an open surgery. And he said I'll have a scar from like the top of my abs all the way down to my side. But that's okay because I camouflage scars, so I can deal with that. This is good news.
Stocks surgery should happen in the next few weeks, which she says will allow her to still compete in the Mrs. World 2023. It is scheduled for December 16th. Our very own Alexandra Macia spoke with her about her journey to become Mrs. America. You can find that full report up on our website. Just go to CBS7.com. Time now to talk your weather forecast as we head into the weekend. It looks like a great weekend ahead, so get out and enjoy it if you can. Chief Meteorologist Tom Tieferteller joins us with a look at the forecast. Tom?
Well, another unseasonably warm day here in West Texas with temperatures running about 10 to 15 degrees above where they should be this time of the year, as we saw plenty of 90s in parts of West Texas, especially here across the Trans-Pecos Western Permian Basin and along the Rio Grande this afternoon, with temperatures up to 90 in Big Spring too. And it looks like we'll see another day of this in our forecast. In fact, we'll take a look at that temperature trend. Really should be about 79 degrees this time of the year. Well, it looks like we're going to see about 11, 12 degrees above that coming up on Saturday. High clouds start to roll in, and that's going to help drop temperatures a little bit, but still unseasonably warm Sunday into Monday before we see bigger changes with rain chances in our forecast. A couple of cool fronts on the way too, so a downward trend in temperatures as we move in towards the middle to latter part of next week. And again, the best chances of rain we've seen in quite a while coming up next week too.
You've got your weekend weather. Now it's time for your weekend plans. One Odessa restaurant is bringing awareness to the people who still need help after the wildfires that devastated Lahaina. While Flipped is normally an Odessa breakfast restaurant, it will host a dinner event this Saturday, and we're all invited. The restaurant's general manager was born in Hawaii, and though she isn't from Maui, she says all of the islands are one. That's why she wanted to help out. She says the August fires that killed nearly 100 people are still affecting displaced locals.
A brief moment where there was a lot of talk about it, but a lot of people forgot about the people that are still struggling there now. And that's why I wanted to continue to bring awareness, because they still need help.
Saturday evening will feature authentic Hawaiian food, dancing, and music. Tickets are $100 each and can be purchased by calling 653-9841. All proceeds from this weekend will go to Adopt a Family Maui. That's a Facebook page that shares Amazon wish lists of verified Maui families in need. Today, all Human Being locations in the Permian Basin donated 100% of proceeds to Medical Center Health System's Breast Cancer Navigation Program. The event was called Coffee for a Cure, and it's the 18th year Human Being has been doing this fundraiser.
I love it. I mean, this is my second year doing it, and it is amazing. The girls have so much energy. We have so much energy. We have so much fun doing it and trying to help out that community. We're so excited to do it.
Last year, the Human Being donated more than $15,000 to MCH in breast cancer health efforts. Ector College Prep Middle School hosted a food pantry today to help student families in need. The middle school offers a home economic course, but it also mixes in community service like the food pantry. They started the food pantry specifically for the community service it teaches the students. The pantry served 162 families last week.
I think it'll help them being able to just know what community service is. It will humble them and help them out a lot, just, being able to put it on their college application. If you continue to do it throughout the years and you have that community service on there, it looks good on your applications.
By the way, the Ector College Prep Middle School opens its food pantry Monday through Thursday from 4 to 5, and next week they will have a Halloween-themed food pantry. Take a look at this cute story out of Midland. A Girl Scout troop visited Mayor Lori Blong, council members Robin Poole and Amy Stretcher Burks. The girls also heard from the women in police force and the fire department. And with all these lessons, the troops earned the Democracy for Daisies badge. It is Friday night, which means high school football games are happening right now. Be sure to tune in to CBS7 News at 10 for the Friday Night Blitz beginning at 10:15 with Jacob Brandenburg and Jair Brooks Davis. Now, before the show, be sure to check our website for up-to-date scores from 1A to 6A. That's all on our website, CBS7.com. And don't forget, the Blitz is now longer than ever. You can watch more highlights and more in-depth looks at your favorite football teams from across the Basin live on the CBS7 YouTube. You can also find our YouTube page by scanning that QR code right there on your screen. There is a growing no phone movement in schools. Up to 95% of teens own a cell phone, and kids can receive about 500 notifications a day, many during school hours, making it hard for them to concentrate. A social psychologist says the problem is worse than vaping. Meg Oliver has more on the story.
For students at Newburgh Free Academy in New York, the first assignment of the day, locking their phones in pouches made by the company Yonder for 7 hours, including lunch. It was a bit of a shock for some students when the policy was introduced 4 years ago.
I was ready to start a petition, bring it to the principal, like, stop it real fast.
But no one signed 17-year-old Tyson Hill's petition, and now he loves attending a phone-free school.
Why is this approach better?
I mean, coming from a school where it was banned but it wasn't implemented, I was still using my phone. I was still on my phone.
Here, students walk with their heads up in the hall, socialize and laugh in the lunchroom, and focus on what teachers like Dennis Marr are saying.
That's the beauty of this.
It's a game changer. Yeah, it's night and day. I saw kids' faces again.
According to the CDC, in the 10 years leading up to the pandemic, feelings of persistent sadness and hopelessness, as well as suicidal thoughts and behaviors, increased by about 40%, while test scores, especially in math for grades 4 and 8, saw the biggest decline on record. While there's debate on whether technology, including phones, deserves much of the blame for these trends, social psychologist Jonathan Haidt says it's the only explanation.
So it wasn't the pandemic that did this to us. This was all starting in the early 2010s, and the only explanation anyone can offer for why this happened all over the world is the phones.
He says in 2010, most teenagers had flip phones they use for texting. But between 2010 and 2015, smartphones changed the landscape, inundating people with notifications, group chats, and social media.
Smartphones are basically kryptonite for learning. If kids have access to a phone, they will text, they will check their social media, they will not pay attention.
At Newburgh Free Academy, students lock up their phones and leave them in the classroom all day.
It's amazing to see kids come to school and not have to worry about that phone going off and a video being posted of them fighting in the bathroom or them being bullied by someone else on social media.
Yonder pouches cost between $25 and $30 per student. Haidt says while they aren't foolproof, it's an easy solution for a generation in the midst of a mental health crisis.
This was a disastrous experiment that we began in the early 2010s. We didn't know any better then. We know better now.
Meg Oliver, CBS News.
The technology isn't new, but the company Yonder estimates that they saw a 150% increase in schools using them in 2023, with more than 2,000 schools participating. Now for a look at today's top headlines shown here in real time with real viewers on CBS7.com. See all of these stories and more by downloading our app or visiting our website at CBS7.com. Still ahead, 2 American hostages have been released by Hamas. We have the latest on the conflict in Israel when we come back. And coming up on Tuesday of next week, CBS 7 News at 6 and 10, Hannah Burbank continues her series Way Out West Texas. She heads to one of the oldest ranches in the state to explore the diverse land and learn about the rich history at Cibolo Creek Ranch. Don't miss it on Tuesday at 6 and 10, right here on CBS 7. Overseas, Hamas has released 2 American hostages. President Biden said the U.S. has been working around the clock and will not cease efforts to secure the release of those still being held. Hamas said they were letting them go for humanitarian reasons. Civilians in Gaza are struggling. Israel has cut off fuel, food, water, and medicine. The UN Secretary General visited the crossing from Egypt into Gaza, pleading for humanitarian aid to be allowed through as soon as possible.
It's absolutely essential to protect civilians, and it's absolutely essential to make humanitarian aid come to the Palestinians in need.
I believe that within the next 24 to 48 hours, the first 20 trucks will come across with aid.
Across Texas, Senator Ted Cruz released a statement on the conflict saying he stands with Israel. The senator wrote in part, quote, "I also call upon our country to unequivocally stand with our Israeli allies by providing military and diplomatic support to utterly eradicate Hamas for as long as it takes."
Well, bigger changes are in the forecast with rain chances and cooler temperatures. But in the meantime, though, a touch of summer we'll talk about coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, some big changes are on the way as we're tracking a hurricane in the eastern Pacific that's going to bring in a lot of moisture. Mid to high level moisture already streaming in across portions of West Texas in the form of these high clouds. Expecting that to thicken up quite a bit as we move in towards the next 24 to 48 hours. But we still have this ridge of high pressure centered up across the Four Corners area. This is going to control our weather for the weekend with unseasonably warm to hot temperatures hanging around in our forecast. But then our attention is going to turn to what's the remnants of this hurricane. Once it moves onshore across western portions of Mexico, it's going to bring a lot of moisture through, even though the closed circulation will really start to dissipate over the mountains of interior Mexico. That moisture is going to stream back in across portions of West Texas. That combined with a developing storm system across the western U.S. is going to bring some rain chances to our forecast. Now, here's a forecast from the National Weather Service showing you estimations of how much rain we may see over the next week or so. Again, looking at the blue shadings here across the Permian Basin and into the northern Permian Basin, gets into purple. As well as you take a look at your guide here, we're seeing about 1 to 2 inch rain possibilities. The worst of it looks to be north and east along the Red River as a little Gulf moisture is going to come into play. So again, areas along and north and east of the Pecos River look to be the best shot at rain areas as we move in towards next week. Across the state of Texas, things have been quiet except for the increase in high clouds we saw across the state today as temperatures again, they were on the hot side, especially across the eastern part of the state with temperatures all the way up to 97 in Austin, 96 over towards the Del Rio area. And again, plenty of clouds are going to be on the way here over the next couple of days, streaming across portions of West Texas. Really won't put too much of a dent in temperatures until maybe Sunday into Monday, but we're not expecting to rain until the middle part of next week. So for the rest of tonight, things will be a little on the cool side as we'll see those temperatures drop down into the lower 60s to upper 50s in a few spots. And then tomorrow, running about 10 to 12 degrees above where we should be this time of the year. So unseasonably warm to hot weather for the rest of the weekend. The bigger changes with the rain and the cooler temperatures and add an effect with all that rain don't move in until the middle part of next week.
Still ahead, a Speaker of the House has still not been elected. The latest on the race when we return here on CBS 7 News at 9 on the CW. The House has decided to go home for the weekend and start all over again on Monday in a bid to elect a new Speaker of the House. This move comes after Congressman Jim Jordan lost another vote on the House floor to take charge of the gavel, and he now has lost the support of his own colleagues. Willie James Inman has the latest details from Capitol Hill.
Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio has dropped out of the race to become Speaker of the House after his Republican colleagues voted to withdraw their support in a secret ballot.
We need to come together and figure out who our Speaker is going to be. I'm going to work as hard as I can to help that individual so that we can go help the American people.
The move comes after Jordan lost even more support during a third round of voting on the House floor.
No person having received a majority of the whole number of votes cast by surname, a speaker has not been elected.
Even former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy admits the House GOP conference is broken.
We are in a very bad place right now, yes.
In a last-minute bid to save Jordan's candidacy, 7 of the 8 Republicans who voted to oust Kevin McCarthy agreed to be reprimanded by their House GOP colleagues if the Jordan holdouts would change their votes.
If what these holdouts need is a pound of our flesh, we're willing to give it to them in order to see them elect Jim Jordan for Speaker.
I will not vote for Jim Jordan. It used to be that I was voting for McCarthy. Now I'm not voting for Jim Jordan.
Lawmakers are going home for the weekend before starting the process all over again on Monday. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Potential speaker candidates have until Sunday night to submit their names for consideration. House Republican Conference will meet again Monday evening at 6 to begin discussions on who they want to support.
A pretty good looking weekend for everything outdoors as we're going to see high pressure control our weather. Temperatures hang right around 90 degrees, well above where we should be on those afternoon highs for Saturday. More high clouds are on the way on Sunday, and that's going to bring in some slightly milder temperatures in our forecast. Definitely a downward trend in temperatures as we move in towards next week. And then we see that storm system, all that Pacific moisture move in and combine to bring scattered showers and thunderstorms to our forecast. Best chance of rain days are going to be Tuesday into Wednesday. And then we'll see a stronger cool front roll in late next week, possibly some rain showers with it, but also fall weather coming back to our forecast.
Before we go, this kitten has the blood of a husky, literally. The kitten at a Humane Society would have died over the weekend if it wasn't for a Siberian husky's blood. The kitten's name is Thorn, and he will only have the dog blood for a little bit. Cat's immune cells are slowly building up, which means his normal cat blood cells are also increasing. Both Thorn and the husky who donated the blood are available for adoption in Nebraska. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you for more news at 10.